This new tech demo I've created will potentially change the way open world games are made in Dreams. So what exactly am I talking about? Well, I think it's best if I just show you. Let's just put in a random number and generate world. And here you go. So we're fully zoomed out. It wouldn't look like that if we were actually playing this game, whatever it may be, maybe like it's a top-down survival or something, we would be zoomed in like this. So we wouldn't be able to see the platforms spawning in. I call them chunks. It's similar to Minecraft. What is this? This is essentially an infinite world. It's not literally infinite, but it's basically infinite. I'm spawning different formations. So I have 4 preset locations for rocks and trees, and I am randomly spawning. I'm randomly choosing what goes there, but it's not completely random because so like this square right here has a rock here and a tree here. If I go over here, so it's deleted, it's destroyed itself. If I go back, it's the same thing. It's still there, right? And these are not turning invisible. I'm not just making them invisible. They are completely gone. So preview invisibility is off. They are completely gone. All right, like it's not some trick. This isn't a trick. I am destroying them and respawning them. And it's based off of the coordinates plus a seed. You see the seed in the top right. What does this mean? What does this mean? Well, this means that if I put in the seed 3, I've already seen the seed. I know there's a tower in the top left and the bottom right. And I know that because I've already loaded this seed up. And it is randomly generated. It's procedurally generated. Procedurally generated, I guess. But because it's based off a seed plus the coordinates, it will be the same every single time. Similar to how Minecraft's seed works. You put in a seed, you'll get a world. You put in that same seed, you'll get the same world. And it's pretty much, I mean, I don't use the same technique because this is Dreams and Minecraft was made in Java, but it is the same idea. This technique will allow games to be made that are completely open world, single scene, but like a giant world, all right? And there's another part to this though. What if we want to change something in the world? Like what if we want to chop down this tree? I did not set that up in this demo, but what I did set up is spawning a cabin and spawning a tree. And if we go away, they destroy themselves, and if we go back, they respawn. Now, it's not what you think though. I use some trickery here. If we go to edit mode, they aren't completely destroying themselves. Okay, they leave by a little box, a little info box. This box contains all the information needed for that specific object. So maybe there's a stick on the ground, and you pick up the stick, and I want the stick to respawn after a minute. I would pick up the stick and a little box would be left. And that box would basically store the data of that stick or that stick spawn, so to speak. But maybe instead of talking in hypotheticals, I should talk about specifically what I've done here. So with this one, with these two things, the tree and the cabin, it is, let me just restart by the way. It's literally just spawning it in. There's no data to save at all. Which was really easy to do. So just to show you what's happening. When I spawn in a tree or a cabin, it doesn't spawn the tree or cabin. I spawn in this little box. And all this box is an emitter. If this box is being detected, meaning a chunk is above it, spawns in a cabin. And it spawns one, you're right here, max emitted at once, 1. It spawns the cabin 1 time. When you leave the area, when a chunk is too far away, it despawns after 0.5 seconds. And that's what this is. It's despawning after 0.5 seconds. Anyway, it emits when a chunk is on top of it, and when a chunk is not on top of it, after 0.5 seconds, it destroys. So this box, when you place down, for example, an object, this box is always there. The object isn't always there. It's only there if there's a chunk on top of it. So now that you know that, it's a little bit less impressive how I can just spawn a bunch of things and have them destroy themselves, because they're not completely being destroyed. I'm not like changing the seed to add a tree spawn right where I spawn it. That's impossible. Well, it might not be impossible, but there's no way I can do that. Again, because they leave behind a 5 gadget, or maybe it's like a 6 item object. You can't do this infinitely, so you're still bound to thermo, but despawning and respawning saves a ton of thermo. So this changes the game for open world games. You no longer will have to craft a giant world and then deal with thermo issues. You can procedurally generate it based off a seed and have the same world every time. It's not easy though. So let me show you like an example of how powerful this is. So I have this is the chunk, by the way. It's one chunk, and this one thing is turning into all the things you saw. I can't explain exactly how it works in this video. Well, I could, but I won't. And this isn't remixable yet, but it is playable. I plan on making it remixable once I get it to a point where people can use it. But right now it's pretty convoluted. But anyway, if we go right here, with this, all you need to know is we're taking the coordinates, right? X and Z. We're taking the seed, and we're creating a random number from 0 to 9999. It could be higher, it could be lower, but that's just what I chose. So again, we're taking the seed and the coordinates, and we're creating a random number. And using that random number, we are spawning trees, rocks, and towers. So let's spawn towers more. Currently, I have towers spawn if the random number that's generated is divisible by 50. What if we change that to 5? So now, if the random number is divisible by 5, a tower will spawn in the center. Let's do the seed 1, 2, 3, because why not? And you'll notice there's going to be a lot more towers. Every one of these chunks, random numbers, is divisible by 5. So notice how this is the random number, 7870, it's divisible by 5, so the tower spawns. That's how it works. And it's the same thing for the trees and the rocks. Just to show you something else, maybe we do all the even numbers. So remainder after division of 2. If that equals 0, and that's how that's working, by the way. Remainder after division, so it divides by 2, or let's go back to 5. It divides by 5. If the remainder is 0, meaning it's divisible by 5, this will output a positive value. So if the remainder after division of 2 is 0, that means it's divisible by 2. That means it's an even number. 1, 2, 3. We don't have to do 1, 2, 3. We can do whatever we want, but now there will be a tower every time the random number is divisible by 2. Let's show the thermo really quick. Granted, this is not a full game. This isn't even close to a full game, but I mean, you'll see how this thermo spikes and then drops back down. The items are being spawned in and then deleted. You might be wondering, what if I want to show more than just a 3x3? Well, that's not that difficult at all. We have in this logic, I didn't label these, but I should have labeled these. One of these deletes objects and one of them deletes the platforms. I believe this deletes the platforms. So if we make this bigger, let's do 80 by 80. Now, when we play, let's just do this seed. Oh, it started me in a tower. When we play, notice how they're not being deleted. Well, they are being deleted, but you have to be farther away. So maybe in your game, you'd want this. You'd want more of these tiles to spawn in, to stay spawned in. Maybe you want them to stay in. Once they spawn, they stay in. That's possible too. You would just not delete them. Maybe you're doing some sort of board game generation or something. You would basically just spawn them all in. This technique is very, like, it can be used in a lot of different cases. But yeah, guys, that's it for this video. I just wanted to show you like this really cool thing I was working on. I made it in the last 2 days, both on my Twitch stream, so you could have seen me make this live. Definitely stop by when I'm streaming. I'm doing some pretty cool stuff right now. But it's, again, I'm planning on making this remixable. It's not remixable yet though, but it has a ton of potential. I hope you guys enjoyed this little showcase video, this little tease of what tech I'm working on right now. If you did enjoy the video, make sure to leave a like and share this. I think this is really cool. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.